Hey everyone, welcome to FloTrack's The Meetup, presented by Diadora. Performance first, crafted and tested at their Italy HQ. Diadora gears built for speed, the choice of Marco Langen and Simeon Birnbaum. Johnny Pace, Olu Olamigoke. We are on episode 40. We have a lot to talk about, but before we go into it, I gotta get my formalities in. How are we doing? Johnny, let me start with you.
This is the New York squad. We had a great week. I loved hanging out with you guys. Always one of my favorite weekends of the year. A lot of good memories in a few short days in the Big Apple. Excited to kind of go through it. I think we're so lucky. I think sometimes you got to put in perspective how cool it is we get to do what we do, because we got to witness a really awesome weekend at Millrose Games. Glad I got to do it with you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah.
That was so sweet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be back here in Austin, Texas, where it's a balmy 61 degrees and humid, where it was like not so balmy 6 degrees and felt like -6 in New York.
Gosh.
But to Donnie's point, man, yeah, it's always good going back. It's been this time last year I was living in New York, so it's almost like I haven't really moved away spiritually. I love it there. The meet was great. It's good hanging out, seeing all the good people we know, and seeing our family in the track and field world. So yeah, but also glad to be back here on the show.
100%. And as a native New Yorker, there's no place like home, but 100%, it was brick. It was cold.
Great.
It was not. Yeah, it was brick. But let me tell you what wasn't brick, the track. The track was hot. Let's talk about the Millrose Games, guys. I think it's appropriate. Let's start off with the men's 2 mile. We put our picks in. Olu, you're and I pick. It aged like fine wine. Johnny, you almost had us. But yes, with that being said, Cole Hocker, he takes the win in the 2 mile at Millrose Games with a time of 8:07.3, out kicking the field. And this picture is so cold. He has this kind of like Michael Jordan swag to him, where it's like he just kind of brags different, and he has the performance that will always back it up. Definitely that championship pedigree stepped in at that point in time. But what did you guys see when you guys watched that race?
This was I think maybe the marquee event of the day. Definitely just the depth of that field. I think it lost some of its thunder. I was really excited to see Grant Fisher go up against these folks. And Grant is somebody who, as we saw last year, is not afraid to push a pace. I think we missed out maybe on a world record opportunity, because I think between Cole and Josh, they're more going for the win rather than chasing the time. And unfortunately, we could hear it in Grant's voice. He had the sniffles and wasn't up to race. He's also got his half coming up, but it changed the dynamic, right? And it made it kind of an interesting. It did not go out on world record pace. You could see, I think the lead changed like 5 times, which was, it was pretty interesting to watch. Haptem Samuel took the lead for a minute. We had Josh up front for a little bit. But ultimately it was Cole, and this is good old fashioned racing. Like this field was, with or without Grant, one of the best 2 mile fields assembled. A lot of champions in there, so a lot of fun to watch. That night, he said it just came to him in the moment. He didn't plan it, but it was we said it on the ins and outs. A little showboating keeps it interesting.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more. With Cole, I always look forward to his celebrations. I thought he was going to take the ponytail out, but the night I was very satisfied with. I was very, very satisfied with that. I spoke to Cole after the race, and he was like, yeah, he said, why couldn't I win this race? I'm a world champion in the 5,000 meters. I'm an Olympic champion in the 1,500. So he's felt like the 2 mile was definitely that sweet spot. And then getting off of Cole real quick, Josh Kerr, he did come second place. He would have to settle for that, as he ran 8:07.68. This was your pick, Johnny. But Olu, I'd love to hear from you in terms of what your thoughts were on this race.
Yeah, man, I kind of agree. It was super entertaining. It took a little bit of the wind out of the sails when Grant had a scratch, which, I mean, obviously sucked. That was my highlight. I know we talked about this going in, and I also know that we did call this correctly for Cole. But I wanted to see Cole race Grant from last year, because obviously Grant got that world record in the 3K over Cole last year at the Millrose Games. And I remember Cole being so he's a champion. So I remember him being a little bit bent, not bent out of shape, but a little bit beat up by that. So I wanted to see that rematch, even if it was a different distance. But all the same, it didn't disappoint. It was still the same energy. It was still super exciting. Cole did Cole things, waited to like the last 50 meters to just outkick and then put a margin on everybody. And then when they did say over the announcements at one point in time during the race that the world record pace had gotten away from them, I was like, uh-oh, I'm about to be right again. Let me stop. But now at that point, I was like, this is really playing into Cole's hands because as we said, I mean, as you just said, Cole has range, world-class Olympic champion range from 15 to the 5K. You don't want to let things go into a tactical race with a guy like Cole. And he's one thing about Cole, he's always going to have a consistent kick. So yeah, when I saw that happening, I was a little concerned about Josh as well. I know he poked his head. I don't know if he poked his head in the lead too much for too long, but I was thinking that this is really playing into Cole's hands. And even I think didn't even Graham Blanks get in the lead at some point in time there too? Like it was just such a scrappy race, but the whole time you just kind of saw Cole sitting like, all right, y'all do know what I did in Paris, right? And it was cool. And you know what I did in Tokyo as well. It was cool to see that. Like you can tell when someone's running with that confidence of being a champion, a global champion, a multiple time global champion. So really entertaining race, even without the Grant being in it. I would have loved to see Grant in it, but I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
This is also his like third or fourth time at Milrose, and he's always come second or third for the last 3 or 4 years. And so to see him finally get that win, I know probably meant a lot to him. It's the regular season meet, but Milrose is kind of in a different class than a lot of regular season meets. So I know this was one that he has been dreaming of for a while, and got to give him props for that. It's a big win. It's a great feeling.
I don't anticipate Cole coming second a lot not just this season, but this year. Coming off of last year, when I spoke to him after USA's, actually, he was like, when he won the 5,000 at USA's to qualify for the team, he made it abundantly clear. He said, yes, for the trials for the Olympic Games, I didn't make it for the 5,000 for the team. I made it for 1,500. At that point in time, it was like, okay, my versatility needs to increase across distances. I'm going to intentionally make sure that this never happens again. So just carrying like those little nuggets off, as we saw again, the fruits of his labor at World Championships in Tokyo, and now we're seeing it now. I don't see or project him coming second a lot, if at all, this year. Because he's one of them ones. He's a toughie. But let's move on. Wanamaker mile, men's. Cam Myers, he denied Yard Nagus to defend his title and claimed the four-peat. He ran a time of 3:47.57 and now has the world lead in the event. Man, shout out to the Aussie. Cam Myers, he's young too, and he ran with such command and dominance. Guys, what did we see out there?
Man, I talked to Cam last year after Milrose as well, and I think he set the U20 world record at that point in time, he did something crazy, and I was like, okay, how did that feel? And he came out, he's like, well, I was able to race against these guys, but at the same time, I knew I was capable of it. And it goes back to what we just talked about with Cole. When you have someone who has that pedigree, who knows their talents, knows their capabilities, then they come out and do a thing. We can't act surprised. However, I think this time around, I'm
so sorry, guys.
Who's that?
We can come back to the top of that. That's Zeke. Zeke making an appearance.
That's Zeke. He has some words. I think he liked the race too.
We can keep Zeke in the show. I mean, hey, so what up, Zeke? I think what Zeke was saying is that Cam does also have that dog in him, because there was a couple points in time where Cam really was taken out. I mean, if you watched it, like go back to the tape, Cam took the lead. Cam and did not there were people who were trying to keep up with him at multiple points in time throughout the race, but once he took the lead, he didn't look back. And I think he's racing with a maturity that is kind of beyond his years, so to speak. You know what I mean? Let's put this out there. Cam Myers is 19 years old. He's still under 20. He ran faster last year to not win the race. So he's already got Milrose experience as an 18-year-old, come back at 19 to win it. I mean, it's hard. Three-peat is hard enough as it is, but to go with four-peat, I know is really incredibly difficult. And someone like Cam, who was in that same race last year, I mean, it was really exciting to see him come out and get his own for this time.
He's the second youngest to ever win that at 19. I think the last guy did it in 1969. That's been a long time. It was very like the entire time I've covered Milrose, Yard has won that race the last 3 times. So it was like, for me, it was a little like disorienting. I'm like, wow, like somebody other than Yard can win this thing. But to me, I don't know if that signals kind of that ever marching progression that there's always new talent coming up, and it's not the last we've seen in Yard, but like it kind of made me realize that we're always in the sport. Got to keep an eye out for the next man up and continue to elevate yourself. So that was my takeaway. A super fun race to watch. So, and again, took down Yard and Hobbs. Easy, no easy feat.
Yeah, no, the sport is forever evolving, whether it's somebody coming up, somebody making a comeback, somebody just doing something as simple as that's not simple, but like just something like a coaching change or just a little change of some sort that can change your performance and trajectory of your career. But yeah, it's like you really never know, and it's hard to count anyone out on a world-class field. While we're on the topic of the Wanamaker Mile, Nikki Hiltz also won. They ran a personal best and a world lead of 4:19.64. You just see how elated they are. We talked to Nikki earlier before the race, and they were saying that they want their name etched in the record books, and there it is. Congrats, Nikki.
Yeah, there was a really cool photo I got. There's a really cool photo. We all got many really cool photos, but like there's one where it was actually the pre-meet, and I think it was you, Nia, that might have told me that Nikki was talking about how they wanted to have their name on that trophy. And there was one point in time where they were actually standing away from the trophy and looking back at the trophy, and I captured a photo of that. I'm really proud of that because it's just a full circle moment to capture that. And at the very end, we have all these photos with their partner. They're kissing their partner at the end of the meet with the trophy in their hand, which is super cool to watch. Congrats to Nikki. Like, you put on a photo for everyone. Yeah, like exactly. Nikki, if you see this, pull up, hit me in the DMs. I'll send you the photos. They're yours to keep.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool. I don't know if people know this who aren't watching on TV, but yeah, the to win the Wanamaker Mile, you actually get, it looks like a Stanley Cup. It's this probably 2 feet at least tall. It has the names of the winners from the last, well, as long as they've been doing it. So, I mean, just decades and decades worth of names. That's a pretty neat thing. It's like we were doing a little photo shoot during pre-meet day. Like to hold that in your hand, it's impressive. It's forever. So yeah. Nikki, you could tell, was overjoyed. Just there's been a lot of big wins in their career, but again, that Wanamaker Mile is something special, and it kind of stands alongside major championships. So loved
trophy was bigger than Nikki. It was so funny.
That's right.
We're like, it's heavy. Just running across the track, this whole thing like a whole child.
Yeah. It'll be big. But okay, let's move on, guys. Virginia Campbell, he also won with a world lead in the shot put. He threw 21.77, claiming the victory over Joe Kovacs, who came second after throwing 21.21. 21 plus feet in the shot put is absolutely insane, especially this early in the year. And I think Rajendra doing that and really essentially kind of putting himself in a really good position in February, it says a lot, especially when we talk about to the whole shot put community. I think it's definitely is signaling something of that sort because, he medaled in Paris, and yeah, he's somebody who's always been one of them ones. So it's impressive to see him doing this, especially over a dog like Joe.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually quite a competition to watch. Don't forget Chukwuebuka from Nigeria was also in that. He got third, but yeah, Joe actually, I'm trying to remember how the series went because the series was actually very impressive. I believe it was either Joe. I think Joe might have taken an early lead, or no, maybe Rajendra took the early lead. Joe responded with a new season best and a world lead. Rajendra's responded to that. Then in the 5th round, they both improved again over 21 meters. It was a hell of a show to watch. And I love how they put the shot put right there at the starting line of the 60. So you didn't have to go to the back of the armory to go see this. This was a show that was happening right in the middle, and everybody was also tuned into that. Rajendra, though, again, talking about people showing that championship pedigree at the Millrose Games, we talk about the Millrose Games as being a quote unquote or a regular season meet, but you can't really, it's one of those things that, I know we said it already, but it really holds this regard that it brings the best out of people. And just the level of competition, even if the marks aren't there because it is the first couple meets of the seasons for these athletes, to see the way that they level up and really perform, it's super exciting because these are matchups you expect to see all throughout the season, whether it's World Indoors or World Ultimate Champions when we get to outdoors. So yeah, congrats to Rajendra. I mean, that was just a really good performance. And I actually remember watching him after he threw it. We as athletes, we may put out a good mark, but still be frustrated with ourselves. And he said a certain word, a certain expletive after he threw. And I was like, man, he must not have been satisfied with that. So I really want to see what else is in store. So we're going to see this year.
I just add real quick, there's something unique about this event. They actually do it on the infield of the indoor track, which is a pretty unique atmosphere, I'd say, for shot putters. That sometimes they're off track or whatnot, but they actually conducted this thing in the infield, which is pretty neat on a small indoor track like at the Armory. I would think that if I were a thrower, I've never thrown, but if I had to suspect, I would say that atmosphere kind of contributes to helping you have your best day.
Yeah.
And Joe was joking about it in the in the press conference. He was saying, "Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna mess with the track. There's not gonna be any dents in the track or anything like that. We're not throwing with the metal ball." So yeah, I think that there was excitement across the board to be kind of center field, literally, to do shot put. So definitely unorthodox from a lot of indoor meets where they would have them off to the side, kind of like as you were saying, Olu, like tucked away in the corner in the back and stuff, the way shot putters normally are at the Armory. But champions all around. Women's 3K, y'all. Women's 3K. Doris Lemon-Gole, she won with a new collegiate record and a personal best of 8:31.39. Hannah Nuttall would come second with a time of 8:32.94. And before we even continue talking about this, Jane Hedengren of BYU, she records a NCAA number 2 all time, coming third place in the 3K with a time of 8:34.98. What a race, guys. What a race. And I mean, we got to start with Doris. The way, she's someone who can be a tad bit on the stoic side. So when you have those moments when she crosses the line, she pumps her fist, she goes to the ground, she's in tears, her coach comes rushing, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I did it. You can tell she wanted it. You can tell when she knew she had it, she was like, yes, finally. And just like how I was saying for Cole Hawker, I don't anticipate Doris coming second this year, period. I think I might put that in. I have Doris going undefeated this year.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, this is quite a. Please.
I agree. No, that's it. I agree.
I was gonna say this was crazy because this was a great matchup of two really all-star NCAA talents. Doris, obviously the Bowerman champion, Jane, a freshman. It was interesting to see this race unfolding, the way they jockey. Jane took the lead at some point, but yeah, I mean Doris is always going to be there to challenge her, and so they both actually broke Caitlin Tuohy's record. And Caitlin Tuohy is somebody that's she's only a couple years out. She's the type of talent that you would think her records would last for many years at least. But they both cracked under that mark that Caitlin had set in the 3K. So it just speaks to, we're going to see probably a whole lot more records going down with these two ladies, but good, fun matchup to watch.
Definitely. Yeah. And not to get too ahead of myself, I actually can see Doris breaking her steeplechase record outdoor season, and I can see Jane breaking her indoor 5K record this indoor season. So I'm really anticipating all of that happening. And it's funny to me though, how the IQ that both of them run with, I think especially Doris, when I spoke to her after, she was saying that there was no game plan going into this race. But what I saw was essentially her using Jane and Hannah as a rabbit until it was time for her to be like, okay, I have enough confidence. I know I have enough gas in the tank to make my move now, where I'm pretty sure no one will be able to catch me. So watch me work.
Yeah. And I think to your point, that's what we saw coming across the line from her. Now, there was so much emotion, so much joy. And like you said, she's very stoic, but I think it's funny watching distance athletes run, because as much as you see them elated and excited, I think there was a lot of pain in Doris's face as well, because it looked like she was smiling, but it also looked like she was wincing as she went to the ground. It was a really cool moment to witness.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, John, do you want to say something?
Oh no, I think you put it well. Put a nice ribbon on it.
Okay, lovely. So, all right, guys. Roisin Willis in the 600. She won. She had a packed weekend. We'll talk about what happened at BU later on, but she had a packed weekend. 124.87. Them legs are moving. And I think when I saw this, I had no idea she had those types of wheels on her. I think, she has been strong. She's proven herself to be strong, but she is fast. And that turnover is very, very prevalent, guys. When we're seeing Roisin win, especially all things considered from her very full weekend, what were our thoughts, guys?
This is just little time trial weekend that she's over here running. Little like, come on now. You not only did you go up to Boston and run, but then the Boston to New York trip isn't the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, it's still a trip and you're running competition. We know we're so used to as athletes to doing a competition, taking days off, but she's over here doing what would be like a European circuit in January. So, or I guess now February. So I want to see what she's going to do for the rest of the season, because obviously, like you said, she's got some wheels. She's putting down times twice in a weekend. And then when you do start to taper off that volume for both from the travel to the actual workout perspective, I really want to see what happens when she opens up. And a final aside, if she went 8, then she went 6, what could she do in the 4? You said it yourself, Nia, after the run, like she got some wheels. Like maybe she just don't drop in a 400 just to make things interesting.
Well, all right, let's see that mile time maybe.
Yeah. Like, go ahead and do everything you got. And we want you to do everything, Roisin. Like everything. Just do it all.
We forgot to mention here that she didn't just run at Boston this week. She set an American record, which we actually have on FloTrack.
We're going to get to it, Johnny. We're going to get to it.
Yeah,
I promise.
Right. So that is not a bad double. In my mind, too, I think of her as like a professional athlete. She's still in college, though.
Right. That's a good point.
She got to study. She got class to go to. When people ask her what she did this weekend, I think she'll have a pretty good answer.
Yeah. I think her fun fact, like when it's time to do icebreakers in class, it's gonna blow everyone out the water. But speaking about blowing people out the water, guys, Cordell Tinch, he won the 60-meter hurdles. But on top of that, he also announced that he will be focusing on long jump for the rest of the indoor season. He said we most likely will not see him hurdling for the rest of the indoor.
I thought that was a joke.
It will be at Tyson. No, it will be at Tyson Invitational. And he said he's going to potentially try to double in it depending on how this indoor season goes for outdoor season. He said that he thinks he can be one of the best long jumpers in America. He's jumped 830 before. Why can't he do it again? And he thinks that, he can make the team for both events.
Yeah, let's be real. I mean, the long jump in the U.S. is historically one of the greatest long jumping countries, but the long jump in the U.S. has been wide open for the past 10 plus years, maybe more than that. 830 can make any team. 830 might win a U.S. championship. I mean, there are athletes who will go 830 to 840, but 830, you do it a couple times, you're setting yourself up for an 842, which can take you to a global team, especially in the U.S. right now. So I don't see why not. And also, there's a thing that we as jumpers and hurdlers also know. You can ask Tara Davis Woodhall that the hurdles and the long jump just overlap so well, because there's a whole thing that you have to be able to trust your steps, trust your timing, it's all about trusting and execution of your steps and your step patterns and whatnot, right? So when you have a hurdler, which by the way is the defending world champion in the 110-meter hurdles, I mean, who comes from a long jump background, that's actually one of the combinations that I'm not that surprised by. I think a lot of people, we don't see that at this level of the sport very often, but like we don't see someone want to do the long jump hurdle double, because I don't know why we don't, but I'm not surprised by it, because that's just something that we, as in the track and field community, we know, especially on this the lower distance events and the field events, we understand that the overlap between the hurdles and the long jump really plays well into each other. So here's what I want to see. If Cordell's going to go long jump early in this indoor season, I have no doubt he can jump over 8 meters pretty soon. And I have no doubt that he could jump 830 eventually, but I want to see how that translates back to his hurdles in the outdoor season. That's what I'm really excited about. Not just the fact that he's long jump, because that's cool. We need to talk to him about it, but also how that's going to translate to his hurdling later in the outdoor season.
It's probably something good. He also did say he is a jumper first. So
yeah, he did say that.
So yeah, not a joke, Johnny. He's going to be jumping.
I love Cordell. He's a fun guy to root for. He's just got this like lighthearted energy. He's I loved his trajectory last year, ending in that world championship. And he said it from China. We were sitting there at the airport at the start of the Diamond League. He already had that foresight to look ahead to Tokyo. He thought he was going to get that world title. So all I'm saying is when Cordell calls his shot, you probably better listen. So that's super
Yep.
cool. I love 2026, the year of the side quests. I hope the side quests keep coming. I want to see more of them. Hopefully, this is just the start.
I think it is just the start. We're gonna see a lot more stuff happening. Like we did again at Millrose Games. Cooper Lutkenhaus, guys, he won the 600. He's 2 for 2 in his pro races, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? He ran the 800 week prior to, won that, but this one in the 600 world lead, U20 world record, 1:14:15 for Cooper. Hey man, like I said, he is 2 for 2 right now in his pro races, and he runs with such poise and maturity, and he runs with like a pedigree that usually comes with a lot more experience. So what happens when he gets more experience? There's a lot of records that may be in crazy jeopardy, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, to say the absolute least. We said this met briefly over the weekend in person, and I want to bring this point back up just briefly. We have Cooper Lutkenhaus, who is over here. When he takes the line, he drops a record. He's racing with the field, with the, as you said, with the pedigree of someone double digits age older than him. We have so many other athletes, and we're not going to go down the list right now. Y'all can do your research. It's not hard to find, that are also putting up generational world record-breaking performances week in, week out in this track and field scene right now. When are we going to stop saying trackflation and just understand that this is the new era of track and field? Because Cooper is one of the vanguards of this. So I don't know. I want to leave that there. Maybe we may come back. We may have to come back to that another time, because I think at a certain point we have to understand that, like, this can't be a fluke anymore. There's something in the water, there's something in the air, there's something in, I don't know what they got, but it's crazy to see someone who is still, what is he, a junior or senior in high school now? Like,
Junior.
did you pass your driver's test yet? Like, what? Like, come on, it's crazy.
He said, "No, I got a couple world records."
Man, like how?
But yeah, Cooper is one of them ones, and even when you talk to him, he doesn't talk like a 17-year-old. He like talks like a very seasoned adult who has been a professional runner for maybe 6+ years.
Yeah.
I'll also add he's a friend of the show. I mean, he's a friend of FloTrack. We went to film him, but I went and checked in with him because I had that burning question on if he stayed in New York. So he had seen it. So Cooper, if you're watching, we love you, man. But the answer from last time was that he did go back to Dallas for like 2 days. He does have class. He's a junior in high school, yo. He's like, he's got that AP Lang to show face at. So
okay, he's an AP student. Love that.
Yeah, of course. You know, our man Cooper's. You got to hit the books. It's important. Just like Roisin and at Stanford, student athletes. So
yeah,
it's cool. I feel like generally younger pros, it's hit or miss, and so I'm happy to see some early success in a big way for Cooper, and I know we're going to see more of that.
Agreed. Sure. Before we leave Millrose Games, guys, just a couple quick stats. Danielle Williams, she won the 60-meter hurdles with 7:52. Akeem Blake ran, and the 60 meters ran with 6:55. And Dina Asher-Smith, she won the 60 as well, running 7:10. Guys, let's move on. The 800 was going crazy this weekend. Incredibly crazy. Like we mentioned earlier when we were talking about Milrose, guys, Roisin Willis, she did also record the 800-meter indoor American record. We have a clip of it right here. Let's look at the race.
From Great Britain, will Willis have a response in the final 100? Izzy Boffey from Great Britain. Willis goes wide, not going to be able to close the gap. 157 point. What a run for Isabelle Boffey, and she has just overcome. Oh my, what a performance. 157.43. Isabel Boffey cannot believe it.
I love how they embrace each other after. But yeah, guys, this BU, whenever they call themselves the fastest track in America, I really kind of throw my hands up. I know not Milrose, the Armory likes to do that as well. But yeah, in this race, here's the thing. Isabella Boffey, she won with a time of 157.43. As we were saying, Roisin Willis, she came second with 157.43 and the American record. And Gladys Chepengedich of Clemson, she runs an NCAA number 2 all-time time of 158.81. I just really wanted to put that out there to put in perspective how fast that race in particular went on this weekend, when it felt like I think this was kind of the weekend for the half mile. But yeah, what a race.
Yeah, that's crazy. Y'all dropping outdoor times indoors. It's nuts.
So it's like, what can you do outdoor season? It's
right.
What can you really do outdoor season? But yeah,
Johnny,
to point, yeah, Roisin had a very full weekend.
I got a question. Johnny, did you run some 800 in college?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, I don't think just the mile, but no, just the mile. I just remember though, I set my PR there at BU. Like it felt like a easy run. It's like sometimes you think of PR, you got to like dig deep, but there's something about just the mechanics of that track that just, or the atmosphere. I don't know what it is, but I just remember how effortless it felt running much faster than I ever had there at BU. And I know even since then they've updated it, but I think you see it time and time again that's why people like to go out there. There's something about that track that lends itself to best marks. And so I'm glad we had a team. We couldn't be two places at once, but pretty special place.
I wish we could have been 3 places at once, because not only Milrose and BU had great times, at PSU, there was also some crazy times being dropped. Tanoda Matsatsa of Georgetown, he ran a number 3 all-time time for the NCAA. He ran 1:45.12 at the PSU National Open. I need to clone myself so that I can also go to these events. But yeah, like it's just one of those things where the people were running, y'all. The people were running, because also at PSU, Handel Robin, he ran 1:45.91. Oh my gosh. He ran 1:45.91. Obviously, we said Tanoda. And then also on the women's side, Haley Kitching, she ran 2 minutes 0.01 at PSU. So yeah, the people were running. And then from there, guys at Milrose, obviously Colin Salmon, collegiate record. One of them ones, guys. One of them ones. He did that at the Millrose Games. So as we know, like again, this weekend was the weekend of the records. Things were happening. It was just quite frankly amazing. So before I move on to what's hot, I said a lot, guys. What do we think?
Well, I want to just say to Colin's thing, that mark that he set, he snaked that away from Paul Ehring, who was a UVA great. I mean, I don't even know if it's 50 years ago at this point. The record that Colin broke though has stood for decades, and so that's no small feat that he did it. I hate for it to slip away from a who, but we love seeing times take even faster. So that's, and like I said last time, that like big records that have lasted decades. There's with how many athletes come through through the circuit, it's incredible when somebody can actually knock that down. Like that speaks to Colin and what he's got left to come. So congrats, Colin.
Yeah, 1:44.70 is a very serious time to run. He said he was eyeing the NCAA record indoor season, but now that he got this, he said, why not outdoor? So he said it very definitively, very much so with his chest. And there was no hemming and hawing. There was no like, it would be nice. It was kind of like, I'm going after it. So now that I think, again, that confidence booster, when it just takes one race. It takes one time to drop before you're like, you know what? I can do this and I can do more. And that he did. But guys, let's talk about what's hot. The track, obviously. Sam Ruth ran the fastest U18 mile ever. 3:48.88. 8. The track was hot, y'all.
Yeesh.
You know what? I'm gonna say BU is the fastest track in America, and I wish I could have been there as well. What did you guys think when you saw that time was dropped? I was able to watch the race over, and it was just something that you kind of knew was going to happen just based on the velocity in which she was running with.
I'm gonna leave that one to you, Johnny. You're the miler. I just sit back and watch. I'm just like, first 3, anything for what? No. Like, keep in mind, I will run a mile and it will take me 8.5 minutes, and I am like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. So I'm not gonna be the one to throw my hat in this ring. I'm gonna leave that one for Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, let's just keep in mind Sam and Cooper are similar ages. I mean, if to my point earlier, it's like you gotta watch out for who's up next. And it definitely calls into question. People have always talked about, you need, especially for distance running, it's like you're stacking, compounding years of volume and workouts and sessions such that you come into form at some point later on. But at 16 years old, there's not much time banked that he's compounded. So to see him run, I mean, just it's unthinkable. I mean, breaking 4 was kind of the benchmark for really college kids. We're in a different time, and especially with Sam, this is a different type of athlete that I don't even know if we've seen at this level. I think that he's going to make. I got a text from my buddy at Athletics New Zealand. He's just like, we got the national news. Everybody wants to cover this. Like we're dying for this footage. Like this is a national story. This is maybe one of the best athletes out of New Zealand. His story's still just getting started. We're gonna have to wait and see. But already with that performance, there's no doubt he's already making a mark.
Yeah, honestly, I guess if I do have a take here, what do you think he would have run if he was in that Wanamaker with Cam at 19 years old?
Oh.
You got Cam, and like what? Like, yeah, do you think he might have broke 3:47? Like, because
yes,
that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, this is nuts,
would have went
man.
down.
Yeah, this again going back to look this trackflation thing. This is just the era of track and field that we're in right now. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
man. I mean, we'll see what happens because it's only February. But yeah, in the Chinese New Year, you know how they have like year of the snake, year of the dragon. It's the year of the horse. But in track and field, it is the year of the side quest, like we've been saying all year. Femke Bol, Rai Benjamin, Cordell Tinch, even Nikki, right? Nikki said that they'll be running certain of like longer events. But Femke Bol, guys, she will be making her 800-meter debut this weekend at the World Athletics Indoor Tour at Metz. And obviously, where else can you watch it? Live on FloTrack. So I'm looking forward to this debut. I think she's going to drop, I'm going to say a 201.
201.
201.
Femke Bol.
Yes.
I'm going to say don't be surprised if you see a 2 flat something.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I should just say 150. Now let's say 2 flat because 159 is. I think she might just end up dropping like a 157 later this year. But like, I'm gonna say 2 flat this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the road to sub 2, some point.
Yeah, for sure. That's a given. Come on. Like I made the mistake. I made the mistake of not thinking that Sydney was going to go out there, or not realizing that Sydney was going to run the second fastest flat 400 of all time. I've made some silly mistakes as we talked about generational talents, and thinking that maybe because they haven't done this thing, we shouldn't expect that when they step down to do this side quest that they're not going to be super successful. Now, I'm not going to do that with Femke. No, she'll easily drop under 2 minutes race after race, because as we know with Femke Bol, she's the type of person that races herself into shape across her events. So, I mean, it's a matter of time for how low she goes, or a matter of time for when she breaks 2 and how far under 2 she goes. But for this weekend, 2 flat, something.
Okay. Johnny, what do you think?
Wait and see. Watch it live.
Johnny, I know you're not ducking. What you think she's gonna run?
I always want to be careful. I I think she's gonna break 2 at some point. I don't think it's gonna be this weekend, but I'm gonna say like 203. It'll be fine. It'll be solid.
Okay. I think like it'll be just 201, just like with if she had like a Gemma Riki, Keely Hodgkinson loaded type of field, we definitely would see probably sub 2. But I think with all things considered, with it being her indoor debut for the 8 on the pro level, and then also the field that she's in, I'm gonna say 201.
Fair points.
Watch it live on FloTrack.
Watch it live on FloTrack. Are we going to eat our words, or are we going to be stamped and certified? We'll see in a minute.
I love seeing how our takes age, guys. I
know. I also love how we don't take ourselves too seriously. I could be completely wrong, and I'm fine with that as long as we understand if I'm right, I'm going to be talking my stuff.
Period. All right, y'all. So then on that note, you know where to catch us every Tuesday. The meetup, it will be out. And with that being said, Johnny, Olu, Nia, peace out, guys.
Peace.
Peace out.